In this clip, we're going to look at some more aspects of the aggregation framework. So the question in this case, it says, is to look for movies that have an IMDb rating of 7.5 or more and give the director name, the number of movies per director, the average number of award wins, the lowest tomato meter score, and the highest IMDb votes. And include only those results that involve directors who directed more than 2 movies. So this example, we're looking at lots of different fields in the movies collection. So the first thing is, according to the question, we're only interested in movies with an IMDb rating of 7.5 or more. So that's why our match stage, the first stage here, is looking at the IMDb.rating. So because IMDb rating is an embedded document, it's number 1 enclosed in quotes, and we have to lay it out IMDb.rating. And then we're looking for those that have 7.5 or more, score of 7.5 or more. So that's why we say $ greater than or equal to. So only documents that meet that requirement are passed to the group stage. And then in the group stage, we're looking for details by director. So we want a number of different things broken down by director. So we have a group, and then we have the ID column as always, and then the director field. And then there's 4 pieces of information we want for each director. First of all, is the number of movies that he or she has directed. So we go and we have a $sum, :1. So that means it's going to count. The next calculation is the average number of award wins. So therefore we have a $AVG, and the target field this time is $award.wins. Again, another embedded document. Thirdly, we're looking for the minimum tomato meter score. So that's a $min, and it's $tomato.meter, another embedded document. And lastly, in this stage, the group stage, we're looking for the highest IMDb votes. So we're calling that max IMDb votes, and it's a $max accumulator. And again, it's another embedded document, so that's why $imdb.votes is there in quotes, in double quotes. So finally, we're only interested in those movies that, those directors, who directed more than 2 movies. So that's the entire aggregation pipeline. So if we execute this, we'll see how it looks. There we have the various directors. So there's a number of them here. The first one is his name is Bing Wang, and with the number of movies he had, and we've called the field movies, and it's 3. The average award wins is 4. The minimum tomato meter is null in his case, and the max IMDb votes is 680. So as you can see here, that for every director we have some kind of an IMDb votes score. So they're the documents that are produced, and only those directors, as you can see, who directed more than 2 movies are shown. So what we could do here is we could build this up bit by bit. So what we could do is just execute in the initial stages, execute just the match. So take that part of the query, and we get all the documents that get passed through at that stage. So there's a lot of documents that get passed through. So and there's an iterate command here, so there could be several of those, and there are. So we'll just clear the screen to skip that stage. That's what a match on its own does. It's like that would be like find in a normal query. Then we can take the match and we can take the match stage and the group stage. We execute this. Again, we get a lot more documents than we got in our final answer, because we're getting directors that have a lot of them have 1 movie. So as you can see here, several of those directors have the number of movies is 1 all the way down. Whereas in our full answer, we're only interested in directors that have 2 or more movies. So if we run the entire aggregation pipeline as we did at the start, we'll see a much shorter list of documents that will emerge. clear the screen if we can. I think I must have forgot to clear the screen, so I'll just go clear screen and then run it again. And we see the, what I call it, we see the documents that emerge. There's only about maybe 8 or 9 of them. So that's the that's that example completed. So from an SQL perspective, that's like saying select director, count for the number of documents, then average award wins, max tomato meter, max IMDb votes, from movieDetails, where IMDb rating is greater than or equal to 7.5, group by director, having count greater than or equal to 2. So the MongoDB query reflects that. So then the next query on the list takes this and takes a small bit further. The overall question is much the same. Same movies of an IMDb rating of 7.5 or more. The director details, but the difference this time is this little sentence down at the end. It says include a projection stage, a project stage in the aggregation pipelines that only the essential fields are passed to the latter stages of the aggregation process. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is after our match, when we look at the match stage, any document, the entire document, every document that has an IMDb rating of 7.5 or more, that entire document gets passed to the next stage. But in our group stage of this aggregation framework, we're really only interested in the director's details, the award wins, the tomato meter, and the IMDb votes. So what we can do is we can eliminate everything else from this, the group and the match stages. And the way you achieve that is by including a project stage. So the way you nominate fields to be included or excluded is, if you want to exclude the ID, you list it here, but you put a 0 after it. So that will exclude it. But then for everything else, you list its name. Everything else you want, you list its the field name, and you put a 1 after it. So that's why it's director : 1, award wins 1, tomato meter 1, and IMDb votes 1. So when you execute the query or the aggregation pipeline, the results look the same as they did in the previous occasion. Okay, but in the background, what's happened is, rather than each entire document getting passed to the group stage, we only pass the relevant fields by virtue of the project stage. So the project stage selects those 4 fields: director, awards wins, tomato meter, and IMDb votes, and they get passed to the group stage. And then the output of the group stage gets passed to the final match stage that will eliminate those where a director has directed less than 2 films and 2 movies. So nothing happens visually in the results that we see on screen, but a lot happens behind the scenes. So that's an example of a MongoDB aggregation pipeline that includes a total of 4 stages, but in this case, it includes the project stage. So that's the end of the clip.